everybody, my name is Aracilla and today I'm in my testing world showing off my Minecraft pinball recreation here. This is kind of a proof of concept, but I mean it works definitely, so let me kind of give it a spin here. So we start at the launch lever, which the amount of time that you press this corresponds with the amount of power that you launch the sheep with. As you'll see here in a second, I'm going to launch with power number 4, and really what that means is it just corresponds to the gates up here. Kind of simple way to do power, but it works. So here we go. We bounce around on the different items here that represent the pins of the game. It's kind of a Minecraft themed set here. I mean, loosely. Obviously, we have like a ruined portal. We have a diamond mine, a pig, I guess. I mean, I just wanted to make something. I wanted to prove that the concept would work, and it does. So the different items do different things here. There obviously isn't like a oh, I missed that one. There isn't like a scoring system to the game quite yet here. But yeah, let me kind of show you how it works and how the different elements work here. I recently discovered that one of the objects you can put inside of minecarts is boats. It can be a little tricky, but if you give the minecart a little bit of movement and nudge it around, you should be able to get it. If you take a leaded object and attach it to the boat, whenever you move the minecart, that object will also move around, as you can see. Two things to keep in mind are tension and drag, as the grass creates a lot of drag on the sheep. The lower the minecart is, the more tension it'll have on that sheep, and it'll pull that sheep a little bit more in line with it. The starting launch contraption might look complex, but it's really just a bunch of wires all leading back to this main central component here, the hopper sequencer. Breaking this out of the main build, we can see it's just an endless hopper chain, and we power one half of that to stop the item from moving through. If we unpower that power briefly for 2 ticks, we move it one hopper at a time there, as you can see. You can see here it resets back at the first position, so we do want to add a redstone dust there to make sure that if we have a 0 position. The last thing we need is a reset button, which we add this pulse extender here that powers the 2 hoppers that are underneath it, as well as it turns off that main torch line. So if we move this onto the 3rd position, you can see if we power that pulse extender, it'll turn off the item, it'll move it out of the main chain, it'll pause it there, and then it'll put it at 0. Back at the pinball game, you can see pretty much everything I just showed you wired up to the lights up here, although this time it powers every light before it. But you might be asking, how do we launch that sheep? Well, we actually steal the input circuit and we put it into this pulse extender right here. Once this pulse extender starts to wear out, it turns on that torch, which starts the game. This is not the reset pulse extender, that's actually down here. We'll get to that in a sec. Now moving on, we actually steal that starting input again, and we bring it all the way to the very end of the game to the other sequencer here, which controls the gates here. It controls these 5 gates. It actually also links up to these 5 minecart rails here to control the minecart around, and this is actually what directs the game. So we can go through all 5 different gates. As you can see, they hit that reset detector rail right there. This hits the reset circuit, which actually resets the entire launch sequence. Before building this spaghetti of track work, I built the bumpers. The rails by default guide the minecart down the losing path, but when the bumpers are active, they flip the rails and deflect that minecart back into the course. The signal starts at this note block, goes down through this repeater pulse extender, hits these pistons which give the illusion of hitting that sheep before hitting the rails. Before figuring out the physics of the track work, I had to build the track itself. I had to figure out the map and how all the elements. I came up with these 7 elements, so let's go through the special ones that I have here. The raised rail works in an interesting way as it uses water to both raise and redirect the sheep, but you also have to do some weird stuff with the minecart to retain the tension that I was talking about earlier. The diamond mine is pretty simple. You either win or you lose 50-50. If you win, you bounce around again. If you lose, you go down back to the bumpers. It's just a pretty simple randomizer setup where it flips that track and it also sounds this note block if you win. The Nether portal is honestly pretty similar to the diamond mine. It's just a randomizer. You either win or lose. If you win, you get bounced around again through the course. If you lose, and you get sent back down. This time you lose permanently. The redstone is pretty simple. It's just a few pulse extenders. The same comparator one we've seen commonly here. Same torch that flips that rail as well there. But yeah, I'm not really going to get into the track work more than that, honestly, just because it gets a little crazy and honestly predictable there. I really appreciate you for watching this video here, and if you're interested in anything you may have seen in the background of my creative testing world here, please subscribe as I have a few videos planned here. Otherwise, thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day, and here's one more minute of gameplay.